lay an open rose garden. An Adrienette Hanahaki alternate universe sequel series fanfiction, Chapter 7. Her hand wasn't grasping his back as tightly as it had before, but it was. There was life in it, and that made it okay. It was a little bit creepy, but Adrien watched as Marinette slept peacefully. She had been having such rough nights. It was nice to see her finally resting. Her appearance, well, it had gotten worse. Frail skin and hair, swollen and darkened eyes. Her body was thin and fragile. However, her natural brightness and light still seeped its way through. Slowly, she rose to consciousness, waking up. Her eyes fluttered open and she yawned tiredly. Marinette sighed and turned, noticing Adrien with a slight surprise. "Adrien, you're still here? It's already so dark outside," she asked. He shrugged. "It's barely 9, and I'm okay. I wanted to stay anyways," he told her. Marinette gave him a small smile. She took her other hand and tried to squeeze them together, but didn't do so very well. Most of her strength was taken already. "Don't feel so bad about it," she said with a comforting smile. Adrien wanted to melt right then and there. Leave it to Marinette to be dying, and yet still be trying to get him to feel less guilty about it. And with it all clearly being his fault, and only his fault, she was such a kind soul. "How can I not?" he muttered. Marinette sighed heavily. "Look," she said seriously, "I'm happy. Believe it or not, I am. I'm happy because I can feel love. Because I feel like I'm in love. There's a feeling in me that is making me feel so real. I don't know how to describe it, and honestly, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you is that it's something I've been waiting my entire life to feel," Marinette said. Adrien understood that. He had heard that being in love was like floating on clouds or walking on water, or, as Nino had so artfully put it one day, feeling stupidly less than they deserve, but everything they want and more anyway. "Do you see the smile on my face?" Marinette asked, pointing to her features. Adrien nodded. "I know everyone thinks I'm being crazy like this, but I'm smiling because I'm thinking of you," she said with a faint blush appearing on her face. And Adrien internally felt eternally grateful for the familiar color on her cheeks. A flush, the rushing of blood throughout. All signs that she was still alive and breathing, and Adrien was clinging to it. "I think of you being the most kind and most hilarious friend I've ever had. You cared about me. You care about me. You wrote me my class notes even when I didn't ask you to. You brought me soup, made me laugh, and when I just woke up, you're still here by my side holding my hand. Our friendship means everything to me, and I'm happy to see that the person I love now and in this situation is the same person that I fell in love with before. I feel like I'm truly alive, as ironic as that sounds." For the first time, Marinette breathed out a delighted breath. "Don't feel so awful. I appreciate the gift." Adrien couldn't help but smile a little bit. Even on her deathbed, Marinette was uplifting and amazing. "How are you like this?" he asked in wonder. "So positive and happy, even while everything else is wrong," he asked her, holding her hand just a little bit tighter. Marinette smiled at him. "If you're in a dark situation, if every single light is off, your first instinct is to close your eyes and hide, to stay away from the darkness, to sink away and be shielded from all the danger that could be lurking around, to hide from the shadows and everything unknown. But we have to open our eyes. We have to force ourselves to be brave and find that little light. Because light and good is everywhere. It's just hard to see when our eyes are shut tight. However, it's easier to view when someone else is telling you that the candle is lit and ready right in front of you, she explained. Adrien nearly started crying. God, Marinette was like the most irreplaceable beacon of hope and light that everyone wanted in their lives. And he had her in his life, but she was also slipping away fast. I'm gonna try and do that, Adrien said, his voice almost a whisper. I'm gonna try and be like you and help others and be the one that finds the light for everyone else, he promised her. Bringing up her hand, he kissed her knuckles lightly, securing his promise. Marinette smiled a bit wider. I don't doubt you will. I'm happy to know that when I'm gone, you'll be helping everyone feel just a little bit better, she said. Adrien sighed and dropped his head, slowly rubbing his thumb over her hand. Marinette, I know you don't want to do it, but I honestly really want you to do the surgery. I don't want these next few days to be the last ones you'll ever have, he said, looking her dead in the eye with sadness. I hate that I'm the reason you're never gonna get to do the things I know you've dreamed of all your life. I want you to get to graduate and design your own line of dresses and fashion with your own name. And I want you to go to New York or China or get your first promotion. Everything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm the reason you're not gonna get to live all those experiences, Adrien confessed. He knew there were tears running down his face, but he didn't really care. Marinette wiped the tears off his cheeks with a gentle but shaky hand. Adrien, I know everyone wants me to do it, but I can't. I don't want to. Yeah, and we won't make you, I promise. It's just, we really want you to. I don't want to live the rest of my life hollow. If I did it, when I go to China or when I become a famous designer, I wouldn't feel it. I wouldn't get to feel that love or happiness ever again. I would never fall in love again. I wouldn't feel this way. I wouldn't feel so alive. I feel a lot, so it would be like living the rest of my life as a floating ghost. No motion. I don't want to be a ghost, she said in a soft voice. Adrien held her hand close to his heart. I understand, he said. I'm sorry, he said again. She shook her head, shaking off the apology. Don't be sorry. Mr. Agress? A voice called from the hall. It was a nurse. The visiting hours are over. Thank you for coming, but we must ask you to return home. You may come back tomorrow when the hours open again, they said. Adrien nodded and stood up, not wanting to let go of Marinette's hand, but he did so anyways. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, he said, refusing to ask it as a question. It had to come true. It had to be a statement. Marinette didn't say yes or no, though. She only smiled at him. Thank you for holding my hand, Adrien,